Well, it has been a very difficult weekend on South Australian roads. The Adelaide Cup weekend seen a spate of what can only be described as carnage. It's terrible circumstances that have been on our roads. The terrible accident in the far north between Glendambo and Pimba, where a truck driver was killed along with a driver of a ute. It is just inexplainable when you see it. It just is so horrific. The causeway there that collapsed, and the just literally kilometres of drivers of trucks that were lined up behind that can't get through as a result of the Stewart Highway being closed. They have been diverting the Stewart Highway at Pimba, with the vehicles that are travelling towards Adelaide being diverted at Cooper Pedy. Gee, it's terribly difficult to get along what are the outback tracks instead of the Stewart Highway for these massive trucking companies. An awful circumstance there, which could be seeing this causeway, which has completely collapsed. The concrete causeway where the accident occurred between the truck and the ute can be up to weeks to fix something like that. I mean, this is a horrendous situation for freight movement between Port Augusta and Darwin, Alice Springs particularly too, getting a lot of its things out of Adelaide makes for really difficult to get supplies into that part of the world. There are other accidents that have occurred over the weekend too, which have equally caused devastation, and they included a 63-year-old male who sustained serious head injuries in a motorcycle accident in the southeast, which happened yesterday afternoon. Before that, another accident occurred at Maiponga, where overnight it was a person, a young driver, that was killed on the Pages Flat Road, where a Toyota Corolla had crashed into a tree. But one cannot underscore the awfulness of the accidents that have occurred over this long weekend. The death toll for 2021 is up at 21 on the last year at 17. One needs to recall that the COVID-19 circumstances hadn't taken their impact really until the start of April in terms of people having to stay home and the situation that arose there. So this road toll is a bad start to the year. We need to take stock of that and be very careful as we move about on roads, whether you're in South Australia or moving out of the state, as I am at the moment in New South Wales. Please take care, and our thoughts and prayers to all the emergency service workers and all those truckies too that are just waiting, trying to work out what they're going to do, and their companies that are trying to turn them around to get them elsewhere. Gee, they can't even turn around the trucks that easily on those Stewart Highway outback parts, the salt pan that's nearby. Trucks just sink into that. So what a really big logistic problem it has created. But even worse, lives that are lost there on the Stewart Highway near Glendambo in our outback.